Hello, my loves. What you whipping on Wednesday? Welcome to Creations by Jax. Today is what you whipping on, and no foes. I didn't whip no foes. Testing is a thing. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. We're halfway through it. Yes. Yeah. I'm very glad to be here with y'all today. I'm very tired. Today has been a very long day, but I felt like I really wanted to get out here. We're about to wrap it up. I'll take it. Luck of the draw. So let's just get into it because it's going to take 17 hours for this to upload. So we got to keep it only 10 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Yeah. All right. So this week in the Beautiful Things bag, I don't even know if it, did I flip it around? I bet you I didn't flip it around. I keep forgetting it does the mirror thing. So that was probably backwards. Anyway, in the Beautiful Things bag, we have our this week's Luck of the Draw. For those of you that don't know what Luck of the Draw is, it is a scrap busting make-along that we even have handy dandy notebook pages. It's a board. It's not a page, Jax. Not a page. It's almost like I need coffee or something. Anyway, so what it is the scrap buster. And these were scraps that I had from a project that I had made for my mommy. And I'll show you on my decor. This is my main color, and those are my 5 supporting actresses. And what it is Mama Swift. Y'all know Trisha over at Mama Swift. She is my said wonder twin. She's hosting it right now. What's up with the ums? Yeah, at least it's not okay. See, when I'm tired, they slip out. I'm not as conscious of it. Anyway, back to Luck of the Draw. Let's get it lotted in here. So she is putting those out every Thursday at 7 a.m. And tomorrow, I love ya, is going to be week 10, and that'll make Luck of the Draw 16 a wrap, baby. So, yeah. My blankie is, its intention was not to go this way. It's okay, it's for the house. All right, so my week 457. For those of y'all that know, you know. You're gonna get me by the ear. Don't say the number. I said a number. It may have been in there, but it wasn't. Okay, so this is I call this, if you're new and just tuning in, this project that I'm working on, this is called the Rogue One. I still giggle at myself. 10 weeks in, sis, you think you would stop giggling. This is Rogue One Farmhouse Chevron. So this week, color was green. I'm giggling because I peaked when I was supposed to valley, and this is Mama Swift. Anyway, so mine looks a little different than hers, but it's all right. And you know what I just realized? I was like, where have I seen that with in the peaks and not just the farmhouse? This. It's got the same, where it's got that, because what it is, see, that's a puff stitch. Easy for you to say, V. And it was in my Crafts of Wonderland. I was like, yay. But this doesn't have as many, there's not as many steps in between the peaks and the valleys. But so this is what I have so far. I apologize for sounding like Helen that I smoked cigarettes for 40 years. The smoke here is really bad. So there are my colors through week. Attention. No, 9. 9 is fine. It's fine. It's for the house. So that's that. And for those of you that would like your kids, everybody never fails. We're 9 weeks in, and somebody's gonna ask. Premiere Premier Cotton Sprout, and it's in the solids, and then my main color is in the speckle. In the speckle delicious. All right, so there's that one. We're gonna get week 10 in the finale of Luck of the Draw 16 is tomorrow. So we'll do that, and then Luck of the Draw 17 with all best laid intentions is supposed to be August 27th. So we're hoping Mama Swift feels better. She blew out her shoulder, so she is barely, you know, you could tell at the end here that she is having a hard time picking those blankets up. Her shoulder's bad. But anyway, so August 27th, I told her she needs help. I'll help her. So just stay tuned. We'll tell you. We'll announce it if it's gonna be me or Lynette, or if someone else is gonna do Luck of the Draw, because we have too many people that depend on it. So we'll have fill-ins. I will be allotted stunt double. All right, so in my Deb Dow bag, segue, in my Deb Dow bag, this is my Deb Dow duffel tote. Y'all, it's my duffel tote. I love this bag. I am working on, ooh, careful. Ooh, careful. I'm really getting into the yellow now of that. This baby little teacup hook. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook with this. This is like a 2-weight. I wanted drape, I wanted float, but yet not too big that you lose your definition. And I sometimes I have to be careful because I like to use bigger hooks, but then they look messy. So I was trying to, let me see. I showed you guys already. It started off with the orange, and I just, every time the color changed, I did a different stitch. So this is an asymmetrical kind of little jobby that's forming. And here I'm working on some things here. It's just a freestyle, you know, just a freestyle. There's no pattern. I'm excuse me, just practicing my stitches in an asymmetrical situation, which means asymmetrical just means that it grows on one end. So you start out with like I started out with like 5 stitches right here, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I did on one side, it's got this little, that's how you start every row. It's this little shell that goes in there, and then you go, and then I just get excited. And then on each of the other sides, that's where you put your increases. So it slowly grows. So that went from 5 stitches, and I grew it and made it bigger. All right, so that's cool. I really like, ooh, that one's pretty. This one was like you do a granny stitch, and then when you come back through, you do double crochet, front post double crochet, and you do it in between each other. And that one, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but the front posts kind of make it ripple, like kind of, it's got this little shuka. Wait, excited. I'm excited for the green. I'm really excited for the furful. Really excited. So I worked on that one a little bit. You guys can tell, because the last time I was working on it, I was still in the orange. So now I'm definitely in the yellow. Okay, so put this duffel tote. And now the next one I have is, this is another heirloom blankie that I started. I've been really working on this one. On the live last Saturday, I started out the live playing darn chicken. But it's okay. I fixed it. It's okay. This is where calm, collective, and it's okay. This one's not for the house, so I couldn't have that happen. But what I did is, this is Wildflower Oasis by Juan the Yarn Addict, And if you guys watched the unboxing, you got to see my original Wildflower. It was all in shades of purple. It was like three or four shades of purple, and then a variegated purple. All right, so this one, I'll show you what I've got so far. And I'm gonna show you where I'm working on it right here. So I'm gonna kind of hold up the rest of it. So here's what I've got so far. And this is where I went Rogue One. So normally this is, he calls this the sidewalk section. And you can see it's got some ribbing. I ran out of yarn. So there was like supposed to be 3 more rows. So I just did 3 rows of double crochets, and then I did 1 row right here. You can see there's like a little ridge. I did that 3rd loop double crochet to put a little ridge, and it worked out perfect because it's like the dirt before the flowers. And now I just started to work on my 3rd row of flowers. Now he called this the, it wasn't the candy stitch. I thought it was called the bullion stitch. This is that one where you do a double crochet and then do yarn overs around the post. Well, he called it something else though in the pattern. Anyway, I know it is the bullion stitch. So down here we have a bobble, a 5 double crochet cluster bobble. Here we have a popcorn, which looks like a little rose. And then up here he's doing, it's like a bullion. It's so good, so good. Anyway, it worked out. So this section is normally this thick, but I went ahead and used some of the brown. And I think it turned out just fine. It turned out just fine. So that's what I got so far. I really love that center. The center, it's like the fountain. And then we've got the sidewalk, and then here is the first, they're the first flower garden. And then I have another little section, and then there'll be another round of flowers. So I'm using 2 different shades of green just to kind of make it like this little flower is one color and this little flower is another. And these are, let me put those over there. I'm really enjoying this, doing this pattern a second time, because places where, you know, I would work and where I came to the same place and I was like, there was nothing wrong there. You must have been tired. But this blanket flows very beautifully. What I'm using is, I have a bunch of this, a villager sent me this, it's the Stitch Studio. So it's this, Stylecraft Special, and it's DK. And it had a beautiful color palette. I mean, I had a huge color palette. Most of that is that. And then I'm supplementing with, these were the Hirschner's DK cast-offs is what it was called. And you would get like a bag with 3 of these, like 3 of one of the colors, but there's like no labels. You can tell they're the mill ends. Some of them are bigger than the other, but I don't care. My project doesn't know there was no label. It has a beautiful color palette. So yeah, for this one I was using, I had the like the lavender and this green and then this green. See how they are? They're not quite the same green. To give a little contrast. So like I said, Stylecraft. And I don't know what yarn this really is. It doesn't feel like the worsted, like it's DK. It's really soft. And I was like, it's from Hirschner's. Do you ever try to do that? Try to figure out what the mill ends are? I'm like, what is that? Sometimes you can really tell. But this one, I'm just not familiar with it. Juan, what is this? See, I know he's kind of new to Hirschner's. I was like, Hirschner's is my favorite. My Ressie would know, but he had to take a break. So that's been all for this week. I put this on Manny's stunt double because she had to have something on her, because I was wearing my artisanal arches. This is a blanket, and I turned it into a sweater. What? Yes, I did do that. So this is artisanal arches. It's a circular blanket. Turned it into a sweater. Yes, I did. Everybody keeps asking me for a tutorial, and it's once I have my own pattern, I'd have to make my own pattern, in order to do that, because then I would be showing someone else's tutorial or someone else's pattern, and I can't do that. That's not right. So what I'm doing right now is, this is my learning process, and this is the design process. You get yourself, what would you say? You get yourself familiar with stitch work and putting stitches together. That's when I did one of the member treats. She was up on Stunt Double in that 0 weight cotton, and it's just, you have to practice and do the counting, and sometimes it gets ruffly and you're like, too many stitches in that row, and it's all about practice. So I'm familiarizing. It's very similar to a raglan sweater. So there's so many tutorials and so many patterns out there for this technique. I'm just silly, so I call them blanchos. But I sewed this up so it's a swancho. Blancho is a blanket poncho. It's a blanket, a squared blanket, and you just don't do the center. I do Mama Swift. You can see it. You can see it's Mama Swift's. It's called the Foundation Double Crochet, and it's just, we have tutorials on it. I did it on Pique My Interest. Juan did it for Mama Swift's pattern. Was it Ripples in the Creek that one was in? It was in Pebbles in the Brook. Ripples in the Creek. And then there was the other one, Textured Cabin. I can't remember which one it has this start. That's how I learned it. And I just start off with a row that'll fit around your head, usually about 60 stitches. You find a row in the pattern that starts with about 60 stitches. And you cast on. I've been knitting. I've been knit testing. That's why I don't have much to show you guys. It's gonna be a quick video. Hopefully it'll upload fast. What was I saying? The Mama Swift's foundation, and it was trial and error. Sometimes I would get this far into it and go, oh, it's too tight. I need to go down an extra row. And it's just like a raglan. It's like starting with your big head circle, and you go round and round and round. And then when you get right to the breast, right under the breastises, that's when you cinch, and then you almost like a peplum around the bottom. And a peplum, what I mean by a peplum is how it stops. You know, I stopped working this and I sewed that up, but I start here and here, and I go across, and then I jump to the back to make it solid. So again, I apologize that people have been asking me, for a tutorial. As soon as my design process is finished, where I have taught myself how to do this and I can create my own pattern, I will show you guys how I do it. But until then, look up raglan sweaters, crochet raglan sweater, or a 4-point poncho. That's another way. You do a 4-point poncho, and then when you fold it over, you just sew the sides up, leaving an armhole. That's it. Then you can put, your border around the bottom. But so again, I'm in my design process. My intention is to create my own. But for now, I'll let Juan do it. I'm going. Homie Nomi says we need to go before we get ourselves in trouble. No, really, I'll let Juan do the math. Thank you, brother. Anyway, okay, I'm going. Homie Nomi says it's time to go. We're going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. All right, I'll see you guys Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time on the left coast, baby. All right, here we go. Bye. Bye. Oh, no. Wait. I forgot. Wait. I forgot. Hold the phone. Rewind. I hope everybody didn't leave. Dadgummit. I meant to say that on Saturday, I have a public service announcement that last Saturday I had made a comment about using handmade blankets as dog beds. And I was offended by it. Now, I need to emphasize that I absolutely love the fact that someone's pet, fur baby, pets, animals, whatever they are, if they found comfort and warmth snuggled up in one of my blankies, I would be honored. But what I was talking about, and I should have been more clear, but I was all up in my feels, was the difference between like a blanket that is all one stitch that, it's, or a show blanket like Wildflower Oasis. Excuse me. And then I also thought about it. I was like, you know what? There are so many people out there that consider their fur babies like their children. Why wouldn't they, if they had a beautiful blanket, let their puppies wrap up in it? And absolutely, I'm all for it. I would make dog beds for Lee Asher at the Asher house. If he asked, I would make them, and they would be beautiful. They'd be beautiful. Just like my donation blankets. It's really hard for me to do just one stitch throughout the whole blankie. They usually not show. I don't want to say, I'm not presumptuous to say that my stuff is show quality, but I'm just talking like the difference between a half double crochet blanket of all one color, all one stitch that can go in and out of the washing machine. It gets soiled. Again, it goes back to that toddler blanket. That's one thing, but this was a showpiece that I had spent over $300 on high quality yarn. And when it was supposed to be an heirloom piece to go in her hope chest, or to drape on her bed, or to snuggle up in, or things like that, not to be the mattress cover of a dog bed, inside of it was a dog crate is what I should be more specific. And it was, you could tell he had chewed it up, and it was soiled, and it broke my heart to see that showpiece treated that way. But then again, I'm learning. As soon as I gave it to her, if that's what she wanted to use it for, I should not have taken offense to that. I should have been honored that she was using it. So I want to apologize to any of my pet owners, and to all my fur babies. You guys deserve beautiful blankies too. So sometimes when we vocalize things, I didn't quite think my thought out before I spoke, and I regretted saying that. I literally was sitting here going, I bet my Laura Twisted sister is not happy with me because her kitty cats are all snuggled up in her blankies. And I would hope that if any of my hugs or my blankies that people have, if you have your fur babies using them, please know I didn't mean that. That's not, it didn't come out how I meant. But all right, so that was 4 minutes of my pity party over here. I apologize. Gonna cancel me over a dog bed. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'll see you Saturday. And then luck of the draw tomorrow morning. Let's do it at week 10. Whoop, whoop. Okay, bye. Homie Nomi says bye.